All right, fam. Today's topic is 5 strategies to scale your organizing business without losing your mind. Now, this is a tall order, and we're only going to be touching on 5 points. There are several different things that you can do to scale your business, and of course, it's going to be different for every type of business that you run. I am very big into niching. Obviously, you're going to hear me talk about that a lot if you join any of my membership programs or my courses. So let's talk about 5 simple strategies that are going to get you started to scaling your business. Because if you're going to start your own business, you may as well think about the future and think about how you're going to scale that. Think about what it's going to look like. Very often, and I'm kind of surprised by this, very often when I meet with coaching clients, we have those big goal, big vision conversations. And many times folks are saying to me, gosh, I really haven't thought about it. I don't know what I want my business to look like. Well, this conversation is going to help make that question easier. That's a very big question to ask. Like, what do I want? What are my big goals? What do I want my business to grow into? What is my overall vision for this? Some people just know that they don't like where they are and they want to try doing something else, and they know they're good at organizing, and bam, here we are, and they just get started. And that's totally fine. That's exactly where I was when I first started my business as well. But you're going to get to the point where you need a very big, juicy, important why that you're extremely passionate about, and you're going to need a vision for the future. Otherwise, your business will not have the fuel necessary to keep going. You're going to throw a bunch of kindling into a pile, light it on fire. It's going to be very big and bright and fiery for the first, 30 seconds, and then it's going to fizzle out because there's nothing there of substance at the foundation to sustain you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's a big topic. It's a very important one, and it's one that I am happy to bring to you. So let's just dive right in. So I'm going to showcase a few systems and strategies to help you grow an organizing business sustainably. Emphasis on sustainability. So and I want to talk to you guys a little bit towards the end of today's live stream about a special opportunity that I have for you that I'm extremely excited about. So you're going to want to stick around until the end. I'm sure most of you know, those of you that are tuning in are probably well aware of what it is that I'm going to tell you, but maybe some of you don't. I don't know. We'll see. So let's dive in. Let's talk about what I want to help you do. Ultimately, my goal is to help you grow and scale a 6-figure organizing business. That is absolutely possible to do with a very small team, or even by yourself if you're in the right niche and you're being very strategic about what you offer. There are various different ways to develop multiple streams of income and run a business of one and have a 6-figure income. It's very, very possible. That's not necessarily the easiest way to do it, but it is a way. But my goal ultimately is to help you figure out what is in alignment with your life, your goals for business and also personally, and help you get to that 6-figure mark. That's the goal here. So I have done that in not like the shortest amount of time. My business has been official for probably like 6 years now at this point, and I just hit my first 6-figure year last year. So, I'm right there in the middle of the trenches with you. I don't just say this stuff from, a pedestal off in the corner over here, like as some like business guru. I'm actually actively currently running an organizing business, and I know the blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. I know the struggles that you are dealing with. I've been where you are. I've cried the tears that you've cried. I've had the frustrations that you've had, and the conflict and the issues with clients and not getting any clients and trying to figure all that out and wear all these different hats. I get it, bottom line. So we are going to do this together. So if you guys are ready to scale smart, please do me a favor and type scale smart into the chat for me. And let's get to it. Okay, are you ready? Are you jazzed? Are you excited? You look excited to me. Heck yeah. Come on, 6 figures, says Daniela. That's the energy that I like. Let's go. Okay. So number 1 in terms of scaling your business in a smart way so that you don't lose your mind, you need to define your big vision. I already kind of touched on this a little bit, and the fact that many folks that I talk to in one-on-one coaching calls are not doing that. That's one of the first things that you need to do. And so, by the way, if anybody is coming to the NAPO conference, or if you don't know what that is and you want more information, definitely type in the chat. I'm going to be speaking about this at the upcoming NAPO Summit in Chicago at the end of March. I'm giving my signature keynote talk called Slay the Fear Monster. And a big part of that is defining your big vision and setting smart strategic goals. So I refer to your big vision as your anchor mission. And I want to show you something actually from the Slay the Fear Monster presentation that is kind of a good visual for this. So your anchor mission is the thing that grounds you. It's the thing that guides every single decision that you make in your business. And quite frankly, you can use the same concept to help you in the decisions that you make in life. Some people refer to this as your guiding light or your North Star. I used to refer to it as the North Star filter, but apparently that framework is already in existence in another coaching program. And I was like, well, I can't do that. So we're calling it the anchor mission. And so I've kind of reformatted what it looks like. And so I want to show you just a little inspiration. Oh dear, which one is it? I think, let me make sure that I'm not showing you the wrong slide. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's try this one. Nope. This one. Okay, here we go. So this is literally just in my Canva account here. So this is what I call the tree of goals and the loop of alignment. So your long-term, your big vision right here, I want you to think of that as your roots of your tree. Okay. So these are the things that are sort of internal. They're below the surface. You can't necessarily see them, but they very deeply define you and they very deeply define your business. So you need to have a very solid anchor mission to your business. So what does that look like for you? My anchor mission that guides all of my decisions, it kind of stems around speaking organized. I mean, that's the whole, I've shared this with people before. That's the reason why I named my business what I did, because I knew that I wasn't just going to be providing in-home organizing services. I was going to be providing training. I was going to be teaching people. And that eventually evolved into coaching for other folks who want to help others in their community. And what is the best way to expand your mission and build your army of decluttering enthusiasts, but to teach people how to run super awesome, sustainable businesses? Like, I really can't think of a better way to do that. And so the platform has expanded from there. So my ultimate mission is to teach people how to speak organized, whether that's in their personal lives, whether that's in their business lives. And I want to bring my gift as a teacher and my passion for helping women in particular, but really anybody who wants to start and scale a six-figure organizing company. I want to give you the best tools and resources to be able to do that. I really, truly do care about that. I'm extremely passionate about it. It means a lot to me. And if you haven't noticed that already, if you haven't taken any of my training, you will soon find that out. Very, very happy to help you with that. Okay. So that's kind of a little bit of a visual representation of trying to find your big vision. So I lost my place in my notes, you guys. That's embarrassing. If you guys could do me a favor and share with me potentially what you feel like your anchor mission is. What is it that you want? Like, let's have a little bit of a teaching moment here and engaging, like we're doing a coaching session together. What is it that you want? What's your big anchor mission? What is below the surface that is deeply rooted and deeply important? What is your core value here in running your business? Type it in the chat for me. Let me know what it is. If you've never thought about this, use this opportunity, use this moment right now to figure out what that is and type it in the chat for me. We got people saying scale smart. I appreciate it. I know you guys are thinking about it. Keep thinking. Let's go on to number 2 and we'll come back. So the second thing that you need to do to scale your business without losing your mind is to streamline your services and packages. This is really, really important. Okay. I referenced this in my last live stream, but this year I really have been attempting to focus on the 20% of tasks that are actually going to move the needle forward in a big way. And if I'm not thinking really big, like beyond my capability, big, to the point where I'm a little bit frightened by my goals. I need to learn something new. I need to be able to acquire a certain skill around a task that I have never performed before. Then I'm not aiming big enough. The bigger your goal is, sometimes the more laser focused you have to be. It actually requires you to do less than if you're just trying to make small little bits of incremental progress. So if you're trying to achieve 5 years worth of growth in one, you really have to laser focus and think about what steps are going to get you to that point. So if you're going to write a book and you've never written a book before, then, that's part of discovering what it is. That's a big goal that you've never done. It's just like when you were a kid. When you learned to read, you didn't know how to read before you started learning how to read. And so even if it's something that scares you that you've never done before, it's okay to invite that in. It's okay to want that goal for yourself and then go after it. Think about logically, what are the steps necessary to achieve it? And it's going to help you filter out all of the other stuff that you're doing just because everybody else says you should be doing it, all the other things that everybody else is doing. When you hyper focus on what your true gift is, what your one big goal is, it's going to make a big difference. And this goes along with what you offer your clients in terms of streamlining services and packages. So I really advocate for offering fewer, more specialized services and then putting them into a nice package. Again, this is why I feel that niching is so important right from the get-go, because if you know who your target client is and what their needs are, you can tailor your business specifically to them. And if you've done your homework and you've been smart about this and sort of evaluated what your personal strengths are, what you're personally passionate about, and then try your best to closely align those things with what your ideal clients need, it's going to make your life super easy. Not super easy, but much easier, shall we just say, because nothing about running a business is easy. Like, it's just not, okay? We just get better at it the longer we do it. It never gets easier. I'm just going to be real with you. You just get smarter. You just learn. You become more wise. You learn how to avoid certain things. And ultimately, if you want to take a shortcut, you hire a coach and they help you avoid the pitfalls. Like, that's kind of the smartest thing to do. I digress. So offer fewer, more specialized services. So I really like to think of, I've done a lot of different training around pricing and packages. I worked with Holly, who I think Holly is here today. She was at one point. I've done training around pricing. I've also worked with some other coaches just around this sort of philosophy. It's a very hotly debated topic about how to offer services and pricing. I'm not going to get too much into it because this is something that would be its own live stream on its own. And if you really want to learn more about how I structure pricing, you just come and join the Empowered Organizer. It's pretty simple. But I really like to think about it in terms of like the spa package model. So you have a basic set of services that you offer, like you have your basic facial, and then you have the add-ons for that. You can add, the organic lavender mud mask and the eye treatment and the red light therapy and all of those things are additions that people can add on to customize their experience based on their personal needs. But at the core of it, you should have a sort of like basic set of services that you provide. And in order for you to be able to do that, you need to understand your ideal client and what they need. And so you are going to be building your services around their needs specifically. And then you're going to be thinking about some extra add-ons that might be enticing to them, that would allow them to spend a little bit more money with you. You know, like those things are important. I refer to that as the spa package model. That's really nothing new. Anybody that's ever received a treatment like that is like, you know, how did this happen? It's also, you know, McDonald's, I think, is another company that you can look at and you're kind of like scratching your head, like, what does McDonald's have to do with this? But they're always offering incentives with your core meal. Like, would you like fries with that is the classic example. It's an upsell. It's an order bump. A lot of online coaches refer to those terms. And that's what you're building when you're building these packages. You're making it very streamlined, but then you're offering people an opportunity to customize and spend a little bit more money with you. And if you can really nail your niche, this is going to make it much, much easier for you to offer the correct add-on services and make a little bit more money. That's going to help you scale your business to 6 figures. So if you like what we're saying here, go ahead and type in the chat, Streamline for Success. I'm going to go back to the chat here and see if anybody is putting in their anchor mission here. So Eileen is saying that she wants to help families plan for aging gracefully without clutter that is taking away joy. I love that. So what that demonstrates right here is that she's kind of nailed down a target demographic. We're looking at like people sort of maybe baby boomer age, seniors, people who are in the middle of a life transition that are focused on aging and all of the different things that come along with that, and helping them move into that stage of their life without the clutter and more joy. I think that's great. It's very well said. Let's hop over to Facebook and see what we got here. Whole lot of nothing. Facebook is very quiet today. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Number 3, automate and delegate. This is my favorite tip for scaling your business without losing your mind. This is so important. Okay, if you are not a tech nerd, listen, this is my 2 cents. There's 2 ways to do this, because you either need to automate or you need to delegate. If you're not a tech nerd, you need to delegate this stuff to somebody who is. And I will tell you exactly how to do that on a shoestring budget in just a minute. But if you don't use software in your business yet and you want to scale, you need to put your big boy and big girl pants on, and you need to learn how to use certain pieces of software. And if you personally don't want to do that, or you don't have the time for it, it's not, you're in your wheelhouse, then you're going to need to hire somebody that can help you with that. Because especially if you are a solopreneur or you prefer a small team, a business of one, you are going to roast yourself like a marshmallow. It's not even burning the candle at both ends at that point, you guys. You're roasting yourself from 360 degrees if you're trying to do everything yourself. I am the poster child for doing that in the beginning of my business. And I just kick myself for not delegating, not finding my mentor early enough, and not automating. The first things that I put in place to kind of lighten my load were automation. So let's talk a little bit about some of the tools that I like to use. And I can even give you some behind the scenes peeks at some of them. So the first one is a CRM, a customer relationship management software. And do you need it right away at the beginning of your business? No, but you can use tools like everything that Google puts out is free. And a lot of that stuff you can use, like for appointment scheduling, you can use Google Calendar. Listen, if you want to learn how to use Google for your business and use all the workspace and all the Google apps, talk to my friend Amy Novick. I will, in the chat towards the end, if somebody reminds me, type in the video. There's a couple of video interviews that I've done with Amy. She's phenomenal, and she's a Google systems specialist, basically. But you can run your business with Google tools. I'm going to show you Eleanor real quick. That is my preferred CRM, simply just because it's designed by an organizer for organizers. And what Eleanor allows you to do is organize your contacts. So all of your leads, all of your current clients, past clients, anybody who's interested in working with you, anybody that has worked with you, are all kind of organized and tagged in a system. So that way you can track their behavior, you can track their progress, like where they're at in the process of an organizing session. If they've bought a package from you, how many of the hours do they have left? If they're a client that's just finished a project, it will help you be able to follow up with them in a timely manner. It will help you be less likely to lose leads. Listen, the longer you get into this and the more people come at you, your emails are going to start filling up. You're going to start getting tons of phone calls. I mean, Lord willing, these things will happen to you if you do this right. And you're going to get really busy, and people are going to start falling through the cracks, and having a CRM is immensely helpful. And I like Eleanor specifically because it's a tool that can grow with your business. And I honestly think it's better to start it sooner rather than later if it's in your budget, because it's really, really difficult to implement a CRM when your business is already up and running and you have some tools in place. I am dealing with this right now, and the migration of all of my tools over to Eleanor has been an absolute nightmare because I just don't have the time for it. So I'm trying to delegate some of that stuff to my VA and whatever. And it just takes a long time. So let's take a look at all of the different features that you have with a software like this. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I just want you to kind of just get your wheels turning to think about the different types of things that you may need to monitor with this. So this is inside my dashboard. I haven't transferred. This is a blank page here. So the dashboard allows you to kind of see the overall snapshot of your business. It's really similar to if you use a bookkeeping software like QuickBooks or anything like that. So you can see all of your opportunities, all your leads here. You can kind of customize these things if you want. Opportunity value, that's just kind of like how much a potential lead is worth to your business, how much money they're potentially going to spend with you. This shows you your conversion rate. You can just track all kinds of data here. And this also is really important for helping you scale to six figures because it helps you know your numbers and your key performance indicators. Super, super important. It's all done for you right here inside the dashboard. You can track your conversations with people. So anywhere you communicate with a lead or a client, whether it be Instagram, whether it be via text message, email, all of those things get synced to Eleanor so that you can keep track of all your communication in one place. So you're not having to switch from device to device, which has been instrumental. It's cut down on so much time of me trying to figure out like, okay, where did this lead come from? What did we talk about? All I have to do is go to the conversations tab, search a name, and it all comes up right there. You can monitor your tasks, your sales. You can look at your calendar here. So tasks would be like if you're working with your team member and they have a job or a certain piece of a job that needs to be tracked, you can do that. You can also assign tasks to your clients if they need to do some homework. Again, opportunities is kind of your leads. Sales is the money that you're making. Calendar. So you can keep track of appointments here. It also has team scheduler here. So if you do end up having team members on board, you can. This syncs with my Google Calendar. So I have my Google Calendar in here with all of my professional and personal events to make sure that I don't have to toggle back and forth between them. You can collect reviews. There's a really cool feature with this to hopefully collect only 5-star reviews. So if somebody leaves you less than 5 stars, it will actually redirect them to a survey where they can say, we're sorry we didn't meet, a 5-star review from you. How can we improve? So instead of posting that 4 or 3 or 2-star review to your Google, it really is only going to be pushing out those 5-star reviews, which is pretty awesome. There's marketing. There's a marketing tab in here. So there's a social planner where you can actually go in and start to plan out your social media presence. We're going to talk about that one in just a second. This is super important to make sure that you are staying connected without constantly having to be on social media all the time. There's nothing worse than that, than trying to run your business and also have to be a social media manager at the same time. So this really helps a lot. You can connect it with various different platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the things. You can build your website with this. So if you haven't built a website yet, this is a great opportunity. You can build out workflows with this. And this is kind of where you would come if you're going to send out emails and things like that. So if you want to start an email newsletter or an automation of some kind, like if somebody fills out a form on your website to book a free consultation with you, it can send an immediate next steps follow-up email with them, which can be really, really nice to engage that contact right away. You can do your reporting. They also have online membership capabilities. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, but the best thing about it is the support. So if this stuff really feels beyond you, you can hire somebody from their team to help walk you through it. They also have an academy here that kind of teaches you how to use certain aspects of the software, which can be really helpful in a pinch if you can't get a hold of a person live. Okay, so this is just sort of showing you some of the things that you should be thinking about as you prepare to scale your business to 6 figures without losing your mind. Allow a piece of software like that to do the heavy lifting for you. It's really quite remarkable. And again, it was made by an organizer for organizers, my friend Kelly Jackal in Colorado. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll pop the link up on the screen. If you're watching live inside of the recording studio, you can actually tap on the link on my face and go check out the software. Some other things that I use in my business to automate would be things like payment processing. Payment processing is a big one. I don't ever set foot on a job site without having a form of payment on file, period, end of story, no exceptions. And that has been the rule for I Speak Organized from day one. And you'll notice if you're in a Facebook group, like an organizer's Facebook group like mine or Professional Organizer Think Tank or any of the other groups, people will like monthly talk about not getting paid for their work or not setting up the correct expectations. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well. But having a way to process payment ahead of time is very important. Even if you're not requiring your clients to pay you until after the session is complete, you want to make their lives easier. And I've actually had clients tell me that they appreciate the fact that they can leave a card on file because then they don't have to think about it. I work with clients primarily that are neurodivergent and have ADHD. They've got their brains already in 15,000 different directions, and they don't want to have to try to remember one more task, including the embarrassing thing of like, oh shoot, I forgot to follow up and pay and this and that. So use a payment processor. I used Square for a really long time. I transitioned over to Project to Payment. Yes, they sponsor I Speak Organized, but listen, they are awesome. They're US based customer service. You can actually get a hold of real people if you have an issue. And if it's something that you want to check out, I have a link for you that'll pop on the screen in a minute where you can try payment processing for free for 3 months. So in order for you to be able to scale your business, you need to be able to take deposits up front. And the reason this is important is because you need cash flow to be able to pay for certain things in your business ahead of time. Maybe you need to buy product for a job. Maybe you need to pay a team member or a contractor. Maybe you need to invest in a new training or a new piece of software, and you're not going to be able to afford those things unless you're taking deposits up front, which is another reason why streamlining your services and your packages to include a bulk list of things that somebody's going to get for a big sticker price and allowing them to pay 50% up front and then do an installment plan or something like that is super important. And if you don't have a payment processor system and people are just paying you cash or a check or, Venmo or something like that, it's going to be next to impossible for you to scale to 6 figures without losing your mind. So do yourself a favor, get on board with a payment processor system. Again, I recommend Project to Payment. They do sponsor the channel. It is an affiliate link, being fully transparent, obviously, to you, but I love them. And it's only $20 a month, and they have the lowest processing fees in the industry, which you can either A, pass on to your client as part of the fee, or B, use it as a tax deductible expense. Like, it's not necessarily money that you're going to lose. Okay. So just think about it like that. Any of these tools that you invest in for your business are part of your operating expense budget, and they're tax deductible expenses that you should be tracking with your bookkeeping software. We already kind of talked about email automation. I personally love ActiveCampaign as an email automation software. If you guys are on my email list, you will receive weekly emails from me about my favorite decluttering and organizing techniques, some business tips, the latest video or podcast episode. I share that stuff on a nearly weekly basis with everybody. That's all done by my VA and is sent out weekly. And it's all done with automated software. Same thing with capturing leads. When you have a lead form on your website, which is something you could generate with either ActiveCampaign or with Eleanor, what I just showed you, you can create a form that is embedded on your website where clients can self-select into a service with you. They can choose to pay a deposit right from that form on your website to have you come and do an in-home consultation. And you didn't even have to lift a finger at that point. They could do that at 3:00 in the morning while you're sleeping. You don't have to be on the phone with them. You don't have to nurture them through a process because your website and your CRM are doing all of the nurturing for you. That is the power of automation. It does the heavy lifting for you so that you can focus on other aspects of your business. And that is the point. That's why it's important. I love ActiveCampaign for that reason. And I also am a big proponent of AI software. I know everybody has their feelings about that and everything else. I do have a bit of knowledge about prompt engineering and building GPTs and things like that because I'm a big tech nerd, so I can help you kind of understand and come to terms with the technology. But especially if you're working alone and you need to build project proposals for clients in a short period of time. I love using transcription software. I used to use Descript. I now use the software that we're sitting on right now. This Riverside application is made for podcasters and live streamers and things like that, but it transcribes every conversation, every recording that is made. And then you can take that transcription and you can turn it into some sort of workable document. So if you do Zoom calls with leads, for instance, and you're trying to remember all the details of everything they talked about, maybe you do a Zoom call and they show you their whole freaking house. Instead of having to sit there and try to take notes at the same time while you're listening, you can be fully present and fully engaged with that person without diverting your attention in any way, and know that you're going to remember every single thing that they said because you use that transcription software and you use ChatGPT to transcribe it into a summary document of all of their needs, all their priorities, every space they want. You can then recycle all that information into a project proposal for them. If they want an estimate on their whole home and you've never done that before, guess what? You can use AI software if you know how to prompt it correctly to help you write those documents. Again, the power of automation is real, and it can help you run a very professional, very sustainable, highly scalable business on a shoestring budget with a very small team. That's my MO. Like, that is my modus operandi. That's what I want to help you do. So there's that one. The next one, number 4, to help you scale your business without losing your mind, is mastering marketing consistency. I did touch on this just a little bit earlier. Having a marketing plan in place for both physical marketing and digital marketing, like on social media and email, anything that you do on your computer to put your business out into the ether to be visible is part of your marketing plan. So that's going to be weekly social posts, monthly newsletters. I really suggest repurposing content across multiple platforms to save time. And just as an aside, as a highlight, if you do join my Empowered Organizer membership program, you get free instant access to the I Speak Organized social media method, which is my social media course that teaches you how to be present online all the time with only spending like an hour or two on social media every week. So you can have, I teach my content batching strategy essentially. Because I always get questions like, I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, I have a TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest. I mean, every single platform, and I Speak Organized is present on all of them. And, you know, that strategy isn't for everybody, but I do all of that. And my kids are homeschooled. And I run two businesses. I run a coaching business and I run my in-person organizing business. And I also am a public speaker. Okay. I have ADHD. I love doing multiple things. It just is who I am. I've always been that way. But in order for me to be able to do that and be able to function and not burn out, I've been doing it for a long time. You have to be able to batch your content in order to be consistent to do that. And so people ask me, how do you put all of that content out online? And how are you so consistent? And how in the heck are you able to do it in only like an hour or two every week? If you take my I Speak Organized social media method course, you will learn all about it. If you join the Empowered Organizer membership, I'm going to go into more detail with how that happens. You can take the initial course, which granted is a few years old, and there's some content that might not be entirely up to date, but it is more about strategy than it is trends. So you can take a look at that to kind of get the basics of how marketing, digital marketing in particular, kind of fits into your business. And then you can learn a little bit more about how to enact those strategies long term. So again, I suggest repurposing your content. So that's why I love long form content. Live streaming, podcasting, YouTube videos are all what are considered long form content. As you probably could notice, I like to talk. It is a problem. I realize that about myself. People are like, okay, get to the point. I digress, but you have large pieces of content that you can then section out into smaller pieces of content, and it all drives to, you know, a specific goal, a CTA, a call to action, something that you want the person watching, the subscriber, the viewer, the customer, you want them to take an action. So it's all designed around that. All right. So I repurpose all of my long form content into pieces of short form content, whether it be static images of quotes, whether it be short form reels, email newsletter, same thing. I'm not making individual pieces of content for every single platform. I'm making like one or two pieces of content max, and then working them into a very specific strategy. This is also kind of goes back to streamlining services and packages. Streamline your marketing. This is why niching, again, beating that drum right there is so important, because if you have a specific message, your social media is going to be so easy to do, because you're not trying to appeal to everyone. You're not trying to do everything. And all your content will be related. You know, so, and you can't expect that everybody is going to watch the long form content. They might only be able to digest the small form content. And so you want to make sure there's consistency there anyway. So making sure that you are repurposing content is super, super important and will help you from losing your mind, especially if you don't like social media. Okay. Last but not least, this is a very important one. Prioritize self-care and boundaries. All right. So especially for those of you who are first starting out, you're trying to get anybody to work with you, right? Like you just want a client. You're willing to do it on the cheap or for free. Please stop doing that, by the way, because what you do is extremely valuable and you are good at it. Okay, so just accept that about yourself, and people are willing to pay for it if you know how to market it properly. All right. So you need to prioritize your self-care and your boundaries. You need to manage client expectations, and you also need to manage personal expectations, which is really hard. Again, when you're trying to do everything, you're just trying to get a client, you're willing to do whatever it takes. You work nights, you work weekends. Fine. You need to put a deadline on that type of behavior. You need to decide when it is that you're going to make a schedule. And honestly, my advice is to do this from the very beginning. You are in charge of your work week. You're in charge of your vacation time. You are in charge of your work day. So you need to decide what that looks like. And we've never been taught how to do that because we all went to school. You know, most of us weren't homeschooled. Most of us went to a public school that started at X time, and each of the classes was this long, and you went to 6 of them, and then you were done by 3:00, and you took the bus and you were home, and our schedules were done for us. We've never actually had to do that ourselves. Well, when you an entrepreneur and a business owner, you be doing all that yourself. You're doing it all by yourself. And so you got to start. It's better to do it before you start working and before you start like really diving into the mentality of like, I'll take anybody. I'm scrappy. I can work 16 hours a day and for 9 days a week. And like, don't do that to yourself, please. And like, I will get on coaching calls with clients and we will run through these exercises together to help them determine these boundaries with their time. And they'll say stuff to me like that, you know, I'm willing to work 7 days a week. I'm like, no, you might be willing to do that for the next 2 or 3 months, but you're not going to be running an organizing business for 2 or 3 months if you're doing that. Yes, it does take hard work, but you need to be smart about it. You need to prioritize your self-care and your boundaries. So decide, how many weeks of vacation are you going to take every year? How many days a week are you going to work? How many hours a day are you going to work? And think through the tasks that you need to do, because some of that work isn't going to be making any money. Some of that work is going to need to be you doing back end stuff like your bookkeeping or your social media. You need to have time to do all the things that you don't get paid for in order to facilitate the times that you are getting paid. So here's what that looks like in a practical, like harmonious balancing act. I like to plug in at least one full back-end business day per week. So if you're planning to work with clients 5 days a week, that means that you're actually going to be working 6 days a week because you need that back-end day so that you can batch your social media content, you can reach out to some leads, you can film some whatever, or go to a networking meeting or whatever your business growth strategy entails. You need that 6th day. Are you okay only having 1 day off? Right? Like, what are your physical needs? Do you need time to rest your body? This is another thing that often goes overlooked. Professional home organizing isn't all just wearing like cute sweaters and like, you know, cute outfits and going to celebrities' homes to like adjust the vanity displayed pantry that you've created. You know, like it's hard work. It's sweaty. A lot of people that come to ask for organizing help are extremely overwhelmed and have some form of a chronic accumulation disorder, or they might be hoarders and you just don't know. It's dirty. You're working in basements. You're working in attics. You're working in spaces that have a lot of clutter, right? Because those realistically on the day-to-day, the real, those are the people that are coming to us. Even the folks that would be considered in the luxury organizing market, they just have more stuff. They just have bigger space, more stuff. Same deal to get to that aesthetic, right? So you have to account for the fact that it is very physically demanding work, okay? So you need to be making sure you're getting enough sleep, that you're taking enough time off. I really do recommend having a 5-day work week, meaning that you work with clients for 4 days out of the week, and then you have a back-end business day, and then you have 2 days off, simply just to be able to rest your body. Okay. It's funny because there was somebody in my Facebook group that asked how, this was a great question. How old were you when you started your business? And like probably 70% of the answers were people in their like early 50s to mid 60s. Okay. So this is people's second, third career. And at that point in time, doing a very physically active career, your body is going to break down faster. And so you need to be thinking about these things. You need to make sure that you're timing yourself appropriately. You need to make sure you're getting enough sleep. You need to make sure that you're eating well, that you're fueling your body well. You can't be eating a ton of things that make your body inflamed. You know, we all know that processed sugar and processed grains and all those things are not good for us. They cause inflammation in our bodies. This is not the arena for that. Although in Empowered Organizer, we do kind of take a deep dive into this because I am a fitness professional as well. So I can help you with some of that because it's really all what we need. So these are all just in an attempt to help you avoid burnout and avoid injury. You have to set those boundaries in place because if you don't, what happens when you get injured? What happens when, if like, God forbid, you know, you get in a car accident and your car gets totaled? Or, you know, just any number of things could happen. And then you're out of the game. And if you don't have a team in place that can work on your behalf, if you don't have any other strategies of income, like if you're not diversifying your income streams and trying to do some online trainings or something like that, you haven't thought about different ways of diversifying, that's it. 6-figure business, you can just kiss it goodbye. So you have to set those boundaries and expectations in place, both with yourself and with your clients. So determine how long your sessions are going to be. And also determine what clients you want to work with. Again, niching really at its root is setting a loving boundary and expectation for you and your business, because you are having to pinpoint who you want to work with. And not only that, you're also having to pinpoint who you don't want to work with, what types of projects you don't want to do because of your personal goals with your business. You know, like if you really can't lift stuff, you probably shouldn't be organizing garages and attics. You probably shouldn't be doing move management where you're going to be lifting a bunch of stuff. You should probably look at doing like photo organizing or pantries or file management, paperwork, digital organizing, things that aren't going to require a ton of physical work, right? So setting those boundaries and expectations and priorities around self-care are so important. Lastly, drink tons of water, like just all the time. Protein and water are like my two things. Women in particular, within 30 minutes of doing strenuous physical activity, need to have protein in order to help sustain their muscles. You should be doing some form of resistance training. Don't really worry about the cardio. Trust me, I teach cardio-based exercise classes 4 times a week. And it pales in comparison to when I lift weights, especially as we get older, to help build bone density and build strength so that you're not getting injured on the job. So incorporating some sort of resistance training is essential. Drinking an SHIT load of water is so important because your brain is a hydroelectric system and your brain runs on water. It's like, I don't know, 75 or 80% water as it is. I'm going to take a big swig of water right now. And so in order to be able to complete complex tasks of running your business and learn new things, be open to learning new skills and put yourself in uncomfortable situations that you don't know what you're doing, but learn as you go, you need to be well fed, you need to be well hydrated, and you need to be well rested. Okay. That's my soapbox moment about the prioritizing of self-care and boundaries. So if all of that resonates with you, type in the chat, boundaries are beautiful, because they really are. And ultimately, yeah, you're going to have to set some boundaries with your clients, but in the end, you're going to mostly be having to set boundaries with yourself. It's very, very important. So that's it. Those are the 5 ways to help you scale your business without absolutely losing your mind. Hopefully they've been helpful for you. Hopefully it's given you some food for thought. I want to hear what you guys think. If you have questions, pop them in the chat right now. We got about 5 minutes to talk through stuff. And while you guys are coming up with your questions and things that you're thinking about, I do want to remind you of the Empowered Organizer membership program. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I'm going to pop the link up on the screen, and I'm going to kind of share with you what the membership program looks like. So if you like my coaching style, because listen, like not all the things I'm saying are like innovative, groundbreaking information. Like a lot of us are saying the exact same stuff, you guys. Like there are core principles that just plain old freaking work for running a business, for scaling a business. Okay. But it ultimately comes down to, who do you click with? Who has the right personality match for you? Do you like the way that a certain coach speaks to you? Do they leave you fired up and feeling passionate and empowered or not? You know, do you leave feeling drained or this or that? And everybody's personalities are different. Not everybody's going to like me, and that's okay. That is something that I am still, you know, trying to come to terms with as a people pleaser and somebody who social mirrors. I always want everybody to like me, but not everybody does. Some people think that I talk too much and I'm annoying, and that's completely fine. So we're all kind of like trying to get you to the same goal. You know, all rivers run into the ocean eventually. So what path are you going to take? Who you want to work with, right? So if you feel like you found a mentor in me, I want you to come. If you like what you have received through these trainings, come and work with us in the Empowered Organizer. We only meet like once or twice a month, so there's plenty of time for you to work on other aspects of your business and really kind of dial this stuff in, so you're not really going to fall behind. And you're going to have a group of people surrounding you that are in the exact same boat that you are. If you've started your business and you're brand new and you probably have found yourself in the situation where you're trying to talk to your friends about it, you're trying to talk to your spouse or your partner or your cat, nobody cares. Nobody understands, especially if they have a W-2 job. They don't understand what it's like to run a business. It's hard. It just plain is. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, it never gets easier. You only get better at it. You only get smarter. You only become more knowledgeable. And when you surround yourself with your tribe, you are going to be more likely to succeed, because you can't expect to conjure up the motivation from within yourself all the time. Willpower doesn't always work. It's there for you when you need that extra push in those moments that you absolutely have to use it. But if you're constantly depleting that resource, then you're doomed to burn out. So use the motivation from those around you. Let people come around you and support you and cry with you when you need to, and to help lift you up, and to simply just tell you, like, I've been there, I've done that. Here's what happened to me, and here's how I overcame it, and you can do this, and just bolster you. It's so, so important. So I want to show you the membership page just so that you can check it out. It is filled with, I said 31 lessons, I lied. There's more like 33 lessons that we're going to be working through over the course of the year, with the goal to help you grow a thriving 6-figure business. Okay. So it's an online membership program. By the way, if you guys have questions about this, please pop them in the chat, because, you know, what I think is clearly defined sometimes isn't. So I want to make sure that you guys get all the information that you need. So here's the deal. Like, if you feel lost by all this stuff, everything that we talked about, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take it step by step with somebody that can help you through it, right? Who's been where you've been. If you see fit to invest in yourself and your business, your clients will see fit to invest in your business, because when you invest in yourself, you're showing the world that it's worth it to invest. If you don't think that investing in your own business is worth it, your clients aren't going to see fit to invest in it either. So what message are you going to put out there? Is it worth investing in your business? Obviously, yes. So cut a check, take a shortcut. That's my biggest piece of advice. Anytime that I ever hired a coach, it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. And it made getting to the point where I am in my business so much easier. It prevented me from burning out. If I had tried to do it all on my own the entire time, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. I don't know what I would be doing, but I certainly wouldn't be running a business. So there's different things that we work on. So We tackle business setup. We tackle marketing techniques, systems and processes. So I kind of showed you some of those earlier with Eleanor and Project to Payment. I give you guys a workbook with sales scripts and templates. I just finished one on niching, and you have a little workbook assignment for those of you who are actually joining the membership program. You're going to have some pretty killer resources with this first training that we're doing at the end of this month, or at the end of this week, actually, too. We talk through pricing strategies. So if you haven't figured out what to charge, hourly versus packages, everything in between, we're going to talk about different pricing models so that you can determine what's going to work best for your business. I don't necessarily teach one specific pricing strategy. I really just try to give you the information so that you can make the best decision for you. And then, we'll take you on your path. And then ultimately, because I want you to be inspired, I want you to make smart decisions to help you run a sustainable business. A big part of that is having the right mindset. And so I want to help you build unshakable confidence that you can do this, that you can slay the fear monster, that you can punch that fear in the face and stop letting it make decisions for you. Okay. If there's every reason, every excuse not to do something. I have seen people make crazy excuses not to invest in themselves over really silly things, like not understanding how to use technology, or like they're getting dental implants next month or so, and everybody's got their own personal stuff going on, and I totally get that. But if you are truly passionate about this, if you truly are passionate and you truly want something, nothing is going to stop you. Period. End of story. And the sooner that you can accept that about this journey for yourself and surround yourself with the right people, the better. So what else do we cover in here? Organizer toolbox. So we talk about client agreements. We talk about literal tools that you take on the job. I walk you through everything that we take on big jobs, small jobs, what we do when we do consultations, all that stuff. We talk about pricing. As I said, we're going to be going through the Overlooked to Overbooked course, and I'm doing some updated information around that. If you've already taken it, it's going to be all new stuff. Mastering client conversations. So I actually show you seed to sales scripts and things of how I get somebody from going on the phone to buying a full-fledged $4,000 package in 30 minutes. That's a skill. Social media. We're talking about the art of online influence. We'll talk about product sourcing. We'll talk about different ways to diversify your income stream through influencer programs, sponsorships, working with brands, Container Store, Amazon, all those different things can actually make you money for your business if you know how to leverage them and do that. And then, of course, I do the organized mind and body, mastering self-care in the organizing profession. So there's several different things. That's just kind of a taste of what you'll get if you join. I'm going to pop the link up on the screen for you if I can find it. Oops. Hold on. I hit the button. Oh, there it is. There it is. So if you're in studio, click that button, go to the website, check it out. Our first training is on Friday, this Friday. Not sure what time I'm going to poll members, probably 12:30, probably the same time. I'm going to poll members currently to see what time works best for most. Everything is recorded and put into your membership portal where you can review it on your own time. You'll get all of the resources, the homework, it's all there for you to take advantage of. And our first lesson is all about finding your zone of genius and truly defining your niche. And I'm humbled to say that I have some members in the program that are actually established organizers that probably have gone through niching exercises before. But I also have organizers in there that are brand new or aspiring that have never done that exercise. And I'm here to tell you that the exercises that we're going to work through are things that I have never done. I have taken several coaching courses over the course of my entrepreneurial journey, and I've never seen it done like this before. So we're going to make it stupid easy for you to figure this out, so that you can make every other aspect of your business just so much easier. It'll be a breath of fresh air, just a sigh of relief, because you will have that clear cut direction to make 2025 the best year yet. All right, now let's take a look at some of these questions if we have them here. Liana is saying hi. Hi, Liana. I hope you're still here. Eileen had to go. Thank you so much. Catching up soon. I can't wait to see you. Let's see. Don't always have a chance to catch you live, but I want you to know you are one of the reasons I stopped doubting I could do this business. Woo! I'm so happy to hear that. That's what I'm here for. Thank you for saying that, because that really is my biggest goal, is to help you guys overcome those fears and really push forward to do this and know that you can do it. Do we have any questions? Any questions at all? We got people saying boundaries are beautiful. This one's probably pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you guys don't have a ton of questions and you want to get going, that's fine. You know, happy Wednesday. Hi, Addie. Oh my goodness. I have been thinking about you. I think I sent you an email, I don't know, like a month or so ago. We need to catch up, because I would like to hear how things are going with your business. I miss you too. I miss our coaching calls. Not that I'm trying to get you to come into a coaching call with me, but just send me an email or a text message and just kind of let me know how things are going, how you're doing. I would love to hear a little bit about what you got going on in your business. You guys, thank you so much for coming to today's live stream. I really hope that it's been helpful for you today. There's no real takeaway for this one. There's really just the opportunity to come and join us live every single month for more of this style coaching. You are going to get some more benefits out of it in the actual coaching program with resources and all that stuff. If you have questions that you don't want to pop in the chat because you don't want me to read them live, you can always send me an email. You can send me a message on Facebook. Either myself or my VA will answer that question for you. I'm just now realizing that that's one point that I left out. So as just a little bonus tip in terms of automation and delegation, use Upwork or Fiverr to help you with projects that you don't like. You don't have to hire an employee or a contractor on like a regular basis where you have to actually plan in financially for something like that. You can just hire somebody to do a one-off project for you that you don't want to do. Like if you don't want to sit there doing some data entry tasks, you can pay somebody on a shoestring budget to do it for you. I highly recommend Upwork. That is where I hired somebody to convert a few forms of long form content into short form content for me, so that I just had a folder full of posts that I could just like rapid fire get out there onto social media without having to spend all my time doing editing. I spent like $200 getting that done. And after that, I found that the person that did it for me is now my full-fledged video editor. And she is phenomenal. She's amazing. And she makes my life so much easier. And she has given me back hours of my time every single week that I now get to spend however I want, whether it be learning something new in a course that I just bought, or playing Barbies with my kids, or whatever it is. So delegating things to people who are better at them than you is a very good strategy. And I am all about delegation. Start simple, start project-based, go to Upwork or Fiverr. Highly recommend it. Okay, that's my last bonus tip for you guys. I love you all. Hearts up. This is how we end every single training in the I Speak Organized universe. We all put hearts up. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're just tuning in and you missed the whole thing, don't worry. This will be available in the replay version in the Facebook group, as well as the YouTube channel. I'll be sending an email out to everybody with the replay link for you. And I also create a semi-shortened version of it for you as a podcast episode, so you can listen on the go. All right. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see y'all. Those of you who are joining us in the Empowered Organizer membership program, I'm going to see you guys on Friday for our first training. I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.